So have you ever noticed how on one end you want stability? I want security. I want to know what happens. I want control. Just want things to be stable. And on the other hand, nothing is stable. Life is constant flux and change. In truth, the only thing constant is change. So in today's video, we're going to be exploring that concept as we do on this channel. And if you're new here to this place is a thing we called PathTune, where together we are charting a course towards the shores of your highest potential. My name is Jaden and I am your guide. And it is my pleasure to be here, and my intention is to channel a message from your higher self through me to you. And if you found yourself on this video, then trust there is a reason, and there is a message here for you. So to start it off, we are going to clear the space with some frequencies, do a little quick frequency reset. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to then dive in to exploring this concept and then how it actually applies to your life and how you can use this idea from a practical standpoint in adjusting a perspective. And life is truly guided by your perspective. Where you end up is determined on your personal frequency aligning with the higher version of yourself, but also the actions you take and also the perspective you choose to hold. And that perspective, the lens you choose to look life through, determines your thoughts and actions because they are a product of your perspective or your paradigm. You know what I mean? So it's worth exploring. It truly is. And if this kind of thing interests you, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel and we will see each other more often. So hang out with me for a minute, take some deep breaths as I do this, and we're just going to explore these ideas together. So take a break, let everything that has been weighing on your energy field or that has attached to your energy field throughout the day, let it be cleared with the frequency, but also the things that you're worried about, the to-do lists, the obligations, the tasks, all the things that are floating around those ideas in your mind. Create some space, free it up, put it on the shelf. You can pick it back up later. Just set it there for a minute, will you? And we're going to ground these ideas to expand your perspective, to evolve your mind. Because that's what we're all about here on PathTune. All right? Let's go for it. I will clear the space now. Take some deep breaths. Here we go. It's okay. It's all gonna be okay. One more. I'm happy you're here. Thanks for tuning in. So, in today's video, we are exploring the paradox of stability and change. Right? Because life is not this. Whoa. Try to write the same thing in one word. This or that. It's not one or the other. It's, how did that just happen? It is both. It's both. It's this and this and this and that and this and that all at the same time. It's a billion and 50 shades. What? Billion and 5 shades of gray, not 50 shades. Much more than 50 shades of gray. It's much more. It is a continuum of electromagnetic frequency with every minute change in frequency going across the entire spectrum. And you can think of that entire spectrum of, say, life or the perceivable universe as a different perspective, right? There's an infinite amount of different perspectives you can take, and you can actually pick a couple. Take a couple. These are like the marbles in your bag of consciousness, and you can pick up a couple different marbles and combine them to form a higher, more balanced, more diverse perspective. And that's what I'm really all about doing, because when you can build that higher level balanced perspective, you're able to just navigate through life with more ease, more grace, more skill. You can flow with it. You can draw from multiple sources of intelligence. You can connect to different archetypes of intelligence within yourself and be able to make better decisions, have clearer thought processes, looking at things from multiple angles so that you're not stuck in a unidimensional, limited perspective. And that is often what stops us from progress or keeps us stuck, because we're locked into one way. We're so attached to looking at it the way that our ego has been either programmed or conditioned or habitualized. We've habitualized ourselves into a certain modality, or what's also known as a default mode network of your, if you want to take the psychological or the neuroscientific perspective, the default mode network is the superhighway of neurons that consistently get used. But we can remap our brains, we can remap our thought processes, we can change our beliefs, we can evolve our frequency. And this is all about being able to evolve your frequency over time to match the frequency of the you that lives in your highest and best timeline, so that you can be able to walk that path towards your better future. And this is your highest life path. And you're on it right now. If you're on this video, you're walking it, my friend. And I commend you for having the courage to change. Because that's one of the biggest things that we fear in this life is change, right? And it's, when I say we, I'm talking about like the human, the ego. Because you know why we fear change is because it's threatening to our survival. So your brain cares about you. Your body cares about you. You ever heard that phrase? You have over 1 billion and something cells in your body, and all they care about is you. So think about that if you're ever feeling uncared for or lonely. But it's ironic. It's this paradox. And so many things in life are a paradox. And so that's why we are actually creating a series about it. Because I could make 1 million different videos about all the different paradoxes of life. And life is just one big paradox. Because this experience descending from unity, maybe it's like that, right? It's both light and dark, but it's one. And then we descend down to physical reality, and it splits off into light and dark. So this is the nature of the physical reality. You cannot have the light without its shadow, because there would be nothing to compare the light to, so everything would just be light. And that is one perspective, that even the shadow is a version of light. But we're not getting into that in this video. We experience polarity in this reality, in this physical realm. So let's specifically dive into why this matters to you, why you should care, and the aspect about stability versus change, right? So your brain resists change. And this is from, we'll just say naturally. This is a naturalistic perspective. This is based off of evolutionary adaptation. It's survival. And excuse my handwriting. I'm trying to go quick, so we're flowing with this, right? It's not about being pretty. Life is not perfect. Evolutionary adaptation is all focused on survival. Okay, but that's a paradox, right? Because since we're leaning away from change, but the truth of the matter is the only thing that truly exists, or the only thing that is constant in this life, is change. Constant/consistent, is change. So that's the nature of this reality. Everything is growing and dying. That's life. And it's very cyclic, right? It's just, you got the circle of life going on. It's death and rebirth, continuing on and on and on, everlasting. And when this body's done, because this body's not going to last forever, when this body's through and it's all used up and the telomeres get shorter and shorter and your cells can't replicate the same way, and there's mutations and imperfections and disease starts to come, maybe we get to a point where we do the gene editing and we can live longer. And maybe we've lived longer in the past, but at this point, it's still limited in some way. Maybe at least in previous recent past. So it's this circle of life, and your body will decay. It is decaying right now. You are actually dying. From one perspective, you're dying right now. I'm dying every day. But that's a perspective. I don't choose to look at it like I'm dying. I choose to look at it as I'm growing. Because you are not just your body. So that's why we don't say I'm dying. Because everybody's dying. But then everybody's also growing from another perspective. Everybody's consciousness is continuing to have additional experience. And so that experience is adding to the mix of data, of experiences. And so that in some sense is evolution. It's evolving, it's growing. So there's another paradox for you. Both is happening at the same time. And it depends on where you look, from what lens you look from. But the body grows to a certain point and then starts to decay. And that's a reflection of what life is, right? In a previous video, I talked about the atom and how the model of the atom is that it's a tiny little bit, 99.999999999% is the mass, which is what we deem as physical. And 99% of it is, oh, nope, that's not 99%. Sorry. 99.999% is empty space. And that is 0.0000000 whatever 1 is that tiny little dot. And then the rest is the 99% of empty space. Empty space. And that empty space is where the electrons are. And it could be viewed in multiple different ways. The model has changed over time. We used to think it was a bunch of different electrons revolving around. And then now it's looked at, the most updated version, or I don't know about the most updated, but a more recent update to the theory or the model is that it's the electron cloud. So it's a cloud of electrons. And an advancement in the theory is that it's all the same electron, and it's just one single electron superpositioning at multiple places at once. And that's getting into the quantum perspective of things. But all that space, regardless, all that space, our trusted advisors, science, tells us that it's 99.99% empty space, which is the space in which the electron cloud exists. So, to me, that makes sense that it's good to, or it seems plausible to link that as energy, right? It's a form of energy. It's a space of energy, because that's what electrons are. They're electrically charged, super, super, super low mass particles. And so if everything is energy, basically, what is energy? Energy is vibration. Because science also tells us that nothing is truly still. Even the solids, you have a rock here. Rock. That rock is not truly solid. Science tells us that the atoms that we deem as the building blocks of reality are just so densely packed together that they seem solid, but in all actuality, they are not quite touching, and they're moving, they're vibrating. And everything is constantly vibrating and shifting and moving. So, and then the liquids and the gas, the molecules are more further apart, so there's more space, but they're all still vibrating and moving. Constantly. Everything is constantly moving. So that is, at our physical level, the nature of physicality is constant vibration and constant movement. So what is vibration? It is up and down and up and down and up and down. It's a roller coaster. So they say life's a roller coaster, man. Yeah, it actually is. It actually totally is a roller coaster. And so this nature of this sine wave is a descriptor of your being, of your reality. And it manifests from the smallest pebble to the largest mountain. It manifests in circumstances, in psychological conditions, in scenarios, in tendencies, in thought patterns, in emotions, in hormones. It manifests in every aspect of life. And what is this? This vibrational frequency. So the frequency is how many times per second is it going up and down. That's what frequency is. So, but the vibration is saying that everything is constantly moving. Nothing is truly still. So movement, I'm running out of space. Movement equals change. Right? So you see how it's a paradox, because our brain, to try to keep us to survive, is naturally leaning away from the things that change or challenge our belief systems or challenge our survival. If something challenges your belief system, it's actually challenging your survival. It's because it's punching a hole in your view of the world and your concept of reality, and it's creating a lack of stability, because now what you thought was true is not true. Don't question what you believe, because we have a system here. Your brain says we got our footing. We have it figured out enough to where we feel stable. And this is a desire of the body, because the body likes balance and homeostasis. So when we feel off balance, when something shatters the mold of the stability of the foundation that we thought we were standing on, come to find out that that level, that platform that we were standing on, was an energetic platform that was vibrating. It wasn't even truly physical. It wasn't even stable the whole time, but we just thought it was. So that's the big paradox, is that your brain is wanting to keep you to survive, but it's actually in limiting your growth. And it's disconnecting you, in some senses, from the true nature of life, which is change. So the purpose and why I'm mapping this out is because if you can look at it from that perspective of the life actually is change. The only thing constant in life is change. Then in order to walk your path of your own better future, your evolution and aligning with your highest life path, it is to embrace the paradox of life, to embrace the fact that everything is constantly changing, and the trees are growing and dying, and new people are being born, and people are dying, and the circle of life is at some point your body will be done and will decay, and then it goes back to the earth, and then the organisms eat it. I was just listening to an Alan Watts talk, and he was talking about how everything is killing each other. Like life is just about killing things. And it's from a perspective that is actually accurate, in my opinion, the way, if you look at it like this, it's not killing in the terms of like negative murder, but it's everything is constantly exchanging energy. There's always energy. What's the law of conservation of mass, right? Like energy is neither created nor destroyed. That's one way to look at it, one perspective. But that energy that's in your body will one day go back to the earth where it grew out of, where it came from. Because how did you grow? It needed the materials. How did your body get the actual raw materials of the elements to be able to grow a body? It came from the earth, of the food you ate. So you can look at, on one end, if you look at, say, veganism or vegetarianism, because you don't want to hurt the animals. I get it. I love animals. But if you're still eating plants, and plants are living beings, so you're still killing plants. So you're still a murderer. And plants have actually been shown to show consciousness and sentience. And they react to they even know when you're coming home. Like, your plants are freaking aware, and they have what is it? They have a form of being able to see, and it's not the same way our eyes work, but I mean, obviously they have biophoton receptors to conduct photosynthesis, but they actually can sense other light forms beyond the sun that's around them, and that's their way of seeing. And you are a light form. So everything is eating each other and killing each other. And that's just the circle of life, baby. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not condoning torture. Please, no. And so what Alan Watts said was like, so because that's the state of affairs, it seems to me the best thing we can do is cook food well, cook it with respect, and enjoy it thoroughly. Because you got to eat. You got to kill some stuff and get that transference of energy. And then give it that respect by being present in that process and giving gratitude and enjoying it. Enjoy, like, that's the best thing we can do. And I liked that idea. But it is the process. It is the circle of life right there. Everything is constantly growing and dying and changing, evolving and shifting and moving, and energy is transferring from one form to the other. And when your body is done, it will go back into the earth. And if you choose to be buried, then the organisms will eat your body and you will become the soil. And then we can grow an orchard with the fertile soil. And then you'll become a tree. And I was probably a tree once. But furthermore, because the brain naturally resists that change, because of our desire to survive, which is great, and our will to live, but it's updating your software, updating your brain's processing system with new data and giving it an update, because not considering this element that the true nature of life is change is not looking at reality accurately. So if you notice that, oh, I'm disregarding a fundamental truth about reality, or at least physical reality, then why am I trusting the way my ego wants to operate if I know that it's missing a foundational component? And it's one thing to just consciously be aware of this when somebody brings it up, but it's another thing to then integrate that into your being and allow it to change you. When you get the new idea, how do you integrate it and then allow it to change your behavior? Because what's the point of learning something new if you don't allow it to change you? It's just wasting your time. So you become aware and you wrap your mind around the concept. Now you ground it to your body and you say, you know what? Everything is change. I am going to do my best to start to embrace change. I'm going to embrace change because change is the only constant. So start to embrace change. And it's a process. You got to work on it. It's not just a flip of the switch. But when you feel that leaning away, that resistance, that avoidance of the change, of the thing that's threatening your brain's survival because it's challenging a belief system, when you notice that your ego starts to become super defendant of its old paradigm of reality, and you don't even you might be saying something, or you might notice that your ego is saying something about trying to defend it when you know deep down that it's trying to make its way around a certain thing, or it's trying to justify something, but not looking at a crucial element that somebody brought up. These are just ideas. You already know the answer. The real you already knows this. And that's the thing. This is a reminder for you. And sometimes all we need is a reminder, right? And this reminder, this message for you is to start to embrace change more, because you are change. Because change is your true nature. And when you start to integrate this awareness, it leads to your liberation from the patterns that your body, mind, or body, brain, and ego are keeping you stuck in, which are inhibiting your growth, stopping you from flying, stopping you from evolving, stopping you from aligning with your highest life path upward to your highest timeline, your highest and best good, your dreams, your biggest goals, the life circumstances that you want to live, the dream relationship, the happy family, the circumstances and situations that will bring you the most joy, love, fulfillment, happiness, wealth, health, and success, whatever that means to you. Your soul knows. The higher you, your higher self already knows what you really want. And in a future video, we're going to be discussing the paradox of desire and desirelessness. Because on one end, from a personal development, success, rational mind perspective, and it does connect to the subconscious too, but a burning desire is necessary to give you motivation to push through the challenges, the inevitable challenges that will come. But on the other end, as the Godhead, as the higher self, desirelessness comes into the picture because you can't fully know yourself because you're always evolving. And so what you want and what you desire is constantly changing. So when you pick something you desire, it's only what you want, what you think you want in that moment, but that will inevitably change and evolve as you do. So it's like this shifting, moving target, and that goes back right back to change, right? That there's an example of how change is the true nature of your being, of you. It's constant evolution. So that's exciting, right? Because it keeps it fresh, keeps it new. But there's the brain keeping you stuck in old patterns, in old habits, the things we know, the things we're comfortable with. It goes back to, it also is, comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Because your brain's trying to keep you alive. So you don't have to hate your brain. You can send your brain love, but say, hey, buddy, we're doing this different now because I'm taking control of the ship and I'm letting spirit take the wheel. I'm letting my higher self start to drive. And I don't have to know the how to get there, but I'm going to start actively every day, start to align myself with my higher version of myself. And that starts with embracing that change. So this is a call from your higher self to embrace the change of stepping into the new version of you that lives your best life, that lives your highest timeline. Are you going to refuse the call or answer that call to adventure? You can do either one. And maybe at some points, refusing the call is part of the path. Because you have to know what that feels like. You have to learn the consequences of what happens when you refuse the call. It's part of the hero's journey to refuse the call. And that stems from fear, which is fear of change and fear of other things, but fear of change is a big one. But fear. But you'll get through it. And if you feel that call for something more, if you know there's something more out there for you, there's a higher version of life and of yourself that you could be stepping into and living, but you have one foot in the past and another one in the future. You still think about it. You know it's possible, but you feel stuck. There's a creative block, a block of creating that future. Well, my friend, you're in the right place because we are giving you the tools, the knowledge, the awareness, the ideas, the perspective here on this channel and in our programs. This is the place to be, I'm telling you. And we're going to figure it out together because it's a different journey for every person. So you just take what connects with you, takes what speaks to you. But if this message is for you and you're still watching this, you're probably hearing that call. So answer the call to adventure, my friend. You won't regret it. You will experience the challenges and discomfort along the way. But like I said, the comfort is what's keeping you stuck. The only place you do grow is during discomfort. Discomfort is when growth happens. It's the only time when growth happens. So that's that paradox because your brain's trying to keep you safe, but it's actually limiting you from growing because you're staying in your comfort zone. And you know all this, like I said, you've heard it, you know, but it's just a reminder, friendly reminder, and maybe you needed to hear this today. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for being here with me. I really do appreciate it. If you found value in this message, consider sharing it with somebody. You could just shoot them a text. Don't even say anything. Just shoot them the video. Maybe they could find value in it too. If somebody pops into your head that could value or could benefit from this message, go ahead and just shoot them on over. Then we can help build this together, build this community of conscious creators that are looking to align their path as they're walking now with their highest life path. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It does help support the channel, and that's one of the easiest ways you can support the channel if you would like to. And it is free. And I appreciate you taking the time to be open to this message and invest in yourself. It was my pleasure to serve you today. And I will see you in the next video.